Hey everybody, welcome back to Michael Claire Arts. This morning we're going to be doing something that I love, which is a warm-up drawing. So typically I do 3 poses or 3 iterations of the same character. Sometimes I mix it up, but this morning we are going to be doing the same character in 3 poses. So let's go ahead and get started drawing Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. And here we are at the old standing drawing desk, working traditionally. You guys know how I love working traditionally. So the last video we did, of course, as noted in the history, if you look at some of the other videos, was Donald. We love doing Donald. He's got such a range of emotion, mostly anger, frustration, so on and so forth. And previous to that, we were in our Tones sketchbook, and we did Eeyore, moving on to, of course, Mickey Mouse was the first one we did. We did some Phineas and Ferb, a little bit of Perry the Platypus. We did some Pluto. I'm kind of sticking in that Disney universe. We will be moving on from Disney soon because I don't want to saturate the channel with Disney only. Here we are with Eeyore, of course, and today, Stitch. Stitch is one of my favorite characters because my daughter loves Stitch. And plus, I have vivid memories of when this movie came out the first time, and it wasn't a smash. It was not a smash hit. But throughout the duration of its existence, it did gain a cult following, and now Stitch is a valid Disney property, to say the least. And my daughter loves Stitch. She, of course, loves her family, and Stitch, let's make that head skosh bit bigger. Stitch is all about Ohana. Ohana's family. And yeah, she just really loves Mom's family. She just loves Stitch. And I like Stitch too. I like Stitch. One of the reasons why, whenever they had the alien encounter at Walt Disney World, back in the day, before they replaced it with whatever they replaced. I don't think they ever replaced it, did they? I don't remember. Might have been the laugh floor. They might have replaced it with the laugh floor. I'm not really sure about that. But it was scary. I remember, oh my goodness, and my daughter, who at the time, my wife and I, we did not really understand the ups and downs with regards to autism, because my daughter has a autism diagnosis. She is diagnosis defying. She's does things now that are just amazing. But at the time, my wife and I were just clueless. We're just trying to be parents. And my daughter, we took her in there because, of course, Stitch. Alien encounter, because Stitch is fun. But at the time, I mean, Stitch is developed as a weapon. And they did things that were quite frightening. And I remember, I was like, that was actually kind of frightening for me. And my daughter wigged out. She couldn't handle the sounds, which again we found out later was part of the things we were dealing with and not really knowing, because we're just young parents trying to enjoy a day at Disney, not really understanding what was really going on. But yeah, so that's what I have. Memories of Stitch. And of course my daughter loves plushies, and she loves Disney in general. Who doesn't? I mean, honestly, Disney is a wonderful property company that creates so many different things and having a great legacy. Legacy obviously changing. They have different people that now run Disney. But I have a lot of really good memories with that, and I'm not going to deny that they've definitely affected me artistically, especially, I worked for them for a little while, and that was a delight as well. So what I'm doing right now is just placing in the road map. Stitch isn't too hard. He's very similar to a lot of the other ones. You have this very large mass here that is where his face is. So I did that line of action here. And he is sitting. So then you have this form right here that's kind of like a bean. A foreshortened bean comes around. And we have that right there. His stomach area. So now we're going to place his eyes. His eyes, I think, are probably the most difficult thing. Because they're big. They're really big. I have drawn Stitch before. For fun. I have not drawn him in a professional capacity. I've never done Stitch for anything other than myself. But I have drawn him before, just to preface this. I think the characters I drew professionally were Mickey Mouse, the Fab Five. I did do the Fab Five. So Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Pluto, and Donald. So I have drawn them. I did do a little bit in the Cars universe. Just to give you context, I'm not coming at some of these characters completely cold. Let me see what else. Oh, I did do Tinkerbell. Some of the princesses I did. And all these, of course, are for the Disney company. For my private enjoyment, of course, I mentioned Stitch. I have done Stitch. I have done some of the other more complex characters. I think the hardest one I did, pretty much any princess that I ever did, was very hard for me. I don't draw a lot of women, and I do that on purpose, just because it's not my jam. I'm a creature guy. I have done fairies. And I have done women in general. I do know the anatomy. But it takes a certain artist to be able to really imbue that Disney feeling when it comes to their princesses. And that's not me. Like I said, I have drawn the princesses before, and they weren't bad. But again, you have certain people, certain females and males, that do have that ability greater than me, and I'm a creature guy, so I've stuck with the creatures. And they're like, well, don't you say you need to develop every aspect? Yeah. And I'm sure later on in life, as I progress, that might be something I do, but right now I'm perfectly happy with doing creatures. Okay. Lightly drawing. It's important that you lightly draw because you don't want to dig into the paper too quickly in case you need to erase. I don't typically erase, and that is not a brag. I just don't. I like seeing the lines. They help guide me. It creates a roadmap for me. And that is something that I will continue to do until I don't. Will there be a time that I don't use lines? I don't know. Only time would tell. So comparing and contrast, making sure I get things correct here, making sure that I put things in their correct perspective and their correct place is important. Everything in relationship to each other. That's how you can get these characters on model and correct. If the nose is too big, it will show. If the eyes are in the wrong place, such as this one's a little bit too low, it will show, which is exactly what has happened. Sorry. Like I said, I haven't drawn Stitch in a while. There we go. Let's go ahead and shade this in real quick. I have done marble stuff as well. I did a really cool project designing some character collectibles for marble. That was a lot of fun. It's always fun whenever you can be part of a project that kind of has feet in your personal relationship with the characters. Meaning, I had a personal relationship with Disney. Not Disney, Mickey Mouse. I had grown up with Mickey Mouse, and to get the opportunity to work on stuff like that was just a dream come true. Star Wars, I got to work on stuff for Star Wars. A lot of stuff for Star Wars. Back when The Force Awakens came out, that was a joy. Okay, let's go ahead and start tying some of this down. Got that line that comes through the center of the body and then it goes over his belly. Like so, but his belly goes out a little bit further. And down. Let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, Stitch is not too hard to draw. You just got to watch your placement of the forms. Remember, I talked yesterday, I believe, about drawing. Oh, it was the day before, whenever I was drawing Eeyore, with regards to him being a plush, and remembering the volumes, and that those volumes have weight to them. And whenever you shift the volume, like if you were to move it, since it's filled with some type of material, whether it's sand or an aggregate or something along those lines, it will affect the outside form. So whenever I'm drawing Stitch, like his arm right here, let me get this short up here so I can move on. Like his arm right here has that large mass at the bottom, and then he's got his claws, right? I just got to make sure that I get this mass right, because it comes down and then it comes around. I think a really good example of that would be whenever you're looking at it, thinking of it as a filled sock, right? If you fill a sock with sand or you fill a sock with something, it's going to be affected in its form whenever you move it, and that's exactly what is happening here. So let's go ahead and have this over shoulder. Comes down. He's got his little fur tuft here. And his belly's a little bit lower than I have depicted it. And his foot comes out quite a bit more over here. Hopefully that's in camera. Let me check. We're going to zoom out just a skosh so you can see that other foot. Okay, much better. Now we're going to move this forward, and it's bigger than I've depicted. Unfortunately, I'm messing things up. Okay, here's that foot. Get a little bit of a ground plane right here. Here. Go ahead and draw that under. Very nice, very nice, good. Let's go and do this, this, and this, and this. Okay. Again, you'll see me move around a lot because I'm comparing and contrasting where things are on this figure, and I'm trying to keep not only perspective correct, but also proportions. And sometimes I mess it up. I do, I mess things up. One of the things that one of the Disney artists told me when I talked to him, because I took full advantage of my time with the mouse to try to suck in as much knowledge. Ivan would say, all right, I'm in here to probe your brain because I need to understand how things are created around here. And of course, they're so nice. Given of their time. When I was there, it was very, very educational. And one of the things that was iterated to me was the more you draw something, the better you're going to be at it. If you specialize, you'll be really good at it. That's why there were some guys that were just so good at the characters, because that's what they specialized in. Character art. They were character artists. And at the time, that's kind of what I endeavored to be. I wanted to be a character artist. So I wanted to make sure that I got everything I could from them and it was very, very educational, to say the least. One of the things that really surprised me, though, is I asked, do you do anything outside of work? And a lot of them would say no. No, when I leave here, I'm done for the day. And that might have been because of the stress variable. Because honestly, who wants to draw something when you've been drawing all day? It's taxing. But I look at it as, no, I gave you my time. Now I get to have fun drawing what I want to draw. And yeah, that was pretty much, it wasn't a negative, it was just a surprising moment, because I thought in my brain, yeah, you had this opportunity to draw such incredible things, why don't you draw all the time? One of my inspirations probably is one of the 9 Old Men, Mark Davis. He also designed a lot of the gags in the rides, because he was a gag man. So a lot of the funny stuff you see on Pirates of the Caribbean, he did that. They called him the Renaissance Man because he was just so good at everything. He was story, design, character art, animator, and he was just an incredible individual. And when he went home, he would paint and do a lot of his abstract work there, because he was, again, when you work for a property like this or Universal or anything like that, you are dealing with properties that are owned by the company, and you're kind of working in a box. Now Disney does encourage creativity, but you're still working in a box. You can't do certain things. Like I remember whenever, and I think I mentioned this before in the channel, Lucasfilm stopped allowing Walt Disney to integrate Star Wars with existing characters. So back in the day, you would see like Donald Duck dressed as Darth Maul, and I thought that was really creative. But Lucasfilm poo-pooed that and said no more of that. It's not something we're going to do. And they put an end to it. So again, that proverbial creative box was shored up. You know, I think we all, I remember wanting to design the characters and do the characters for these large companies. Now, I just like having fun. I don't know about you, but I like having fun. Art to me is fun. And if I can sort of design things that are memorable, then ultimately that's what I want to do. I like having fun when I draw. Just putting in some of the small details here on the feet. These feet remind me a lot of elephant feet, and I've drawn a lot of elephant feet, so these aren't too much of a problem. Again, these characters are designed to be animatable, so once you find the efficiencies there within, where to place the eyes, what is the lattice line, where are the construction lines, how does the upper lip go, you can create pretty much any of these characters in short order, and it's not too hard. Obviously there's nuance, and every single character artist is going to be a little bit different, just like we are all different people. But for the most part, I think this one turned out okay. So, do that bottom part of the lip, so on and so forth. Anyway, this is the first drawing of Stitch. Let's go ahead and get some grass in here. There we go. From Lilo and Stitch. Yeah. Alright, let's move on to the fallen poles. Alright. Let me see. 26. Okay, moving on to drawing number 2. Drawing number 1. Going to drawing number 2. So, as mentioned before, these character drawings are really fun. I really enjoy doing them. It is unfortunate that these drawings are not getting the desired effect. Now, I think some of you who, believe it or not, I've gotten comments, which is awesome, but I need some type of the amount of time it takes to create something like this in a consistent basis is pretty substantial, especially in the context of working. That is a challenge for sure. I get up at 5 in the morning, just to give you guys context, 5 in the morning to be able to do this stuff. And hopefully somebody is getting something from it. I've gotten positive feedback, don't get me wrong. Positive feedback is always good. And I'm hoping with the consistency that it will change the way my channel is viewed by the algorithm. I hope. I'm hoping, guys. And remember what Jen Urso said, rebellions were built on hope. Rebellions. I'm not saying I'm a rebel. I'm not. But I certainly want to do things a little bit different, especially as it pertains to my channel. And doing this, hopefully, again, excuse me, has helped somebody. somebody. This is a very dynamic pose. I chose this pose because a lot of the existing poses of Stitch have him just sitting, and you really have to search far and wide to find decent reference of him. And this obviously is a dynamic pose. Again, starting out with a circle, anchoring those points, getting those things in that I can draw reference from is important, like having that line come up right here, which for me, the bottom of the nose really is the starting point for that eye. And you've got this large area that comes around like that. You got his brow right there, and you get the outside part of his head, and then of course the eye. Comes around, go back. Again, drawing light, comparing and contrast, making sure I'm keeping things on model the best that I can. This particular pose is quite challenging. It is in the nuance. Obviously, go and do this. There's his brow. Make sure I don't cross that line. I think his nose is just a little bit too tall. Let's go ahead and flatten that out just a skosh. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Come around. Okay. Head kind of tilts up. Comes around and kind of tilts up because it is a 3/4 view and it's facing down and towards me. And then it kind of tapers like that and comes around. I never said it was easy. Actually, I said completely to the contrary. I'm not trying to frighten people, right? I don't mean to say drawing is the hardest thing in the world, which it's not. It is extremely enjoyable, but for me, here we go. That's better. For me, it takes an enormous amount of practice. And whenever I don't have my practice, it shows. So you'll see a lot of times that I don't draw with just this. You'll see me move my entire hand, my wrist is locked, and I'll use my entire elbow. That helps me feel my way a little bit better and helps the stroke a little bit better, for me anyway. Everybody's going to have their own way of doing things, like I had mentioned. And that's true pretty much of everything as it pertains to art, right? I have a couple videos on my channel with Photoshop, and I always say Photoshop is one of those programs that you can do the same thing many different ways and get the same result. It just depends on your desired efficiency quotient. There's that other ear that comes around here. You can't see it. I used to design things back in the day, that had to go to a separator because I designed apparel. So I did things in Photoshop that would not tax the machine that much, because in Photoshop it uses system resources, and I'd routinely have files that had many layers, but I wouldn't put effects on the layers. I would actually try and emulate the effect without using the system resource. So if you use an effect, same thing applies in like Illustrator. And all these clipping masks and everything else. And whenever it went to the separator and he goes to flatten everything, or he goes to create channels from it, it would always create a problem. So I started doing things that simplified the process, and that's kind of where my understanding with regards to Photoshop and how it works and how it can work with you or against you. And yeah, I've used Photoshop since, gosh, 1997, back when it was something completely different, but still good. But now Photoshop is primarily a painting tool for me, and I use Illustrator for assembling, and I'm mostly, pretty much my days now, I'm in ZBrush a lot. And believe it or not, using a 3D program has really helped me in my drawing, which isn't that weird? It's helped me visualize things a lot better, because in ZBrush, being in a 3D environment, you have to think different. How you're going to get things accomplished, how you're going to modify the mesh. And again, it is a tool, not a magic button. Okay, what I'm doing now again is I'm just working some of those areas out. So I'm going to go ahead, that comes here. I want that hand just, and if you're gonna watch, I'm just gonna really do it rough, because I like things rough. I likes it rough. No, stop it. My son, I was doing something last night, and I said something, I thought it was funny. It's a dad joke, and Dad's like, my son's like, Dad, we're gonna shut you down. You need to stop that. And I'm like, what? It's funny. Just let me have some fun. Okay, so now comes around. Got that whole arc right here that I've put in, because he's got, boom, he puts that anchor foot right there. So we're going to come around. I'm going to draw this. And then his bottom. Comes around. You guys, little tufts right here. Reference the right there. Again, always being considerate of where I think things are. And I've got that final, comes like this, a bit closer. Yeah. There's the thumb. It comes like that, and then it comes right there. This thumb kind of breaks that plane just a little bit. And then now comes around. Okay. It's got a hula skirt. Hula. Hula, hula, hula. I've never been to Hawaii. I will go there soon, I hope. Sooner than later. We have friends there that live there. One, two, three. Again, simple shape for the hula skirt because it's got a bunch of hula on it. I don't know the terminology. Just let me have my joke. I can hear my son. Dad, no. Comes around. We've got that form that comes here, and it goes to the other leg. Come in that line of action. I'm sorry, the line of action comes down, and then we're going to middle it, and then have that other foot that comes here, and it comes around, and it is a oval shape. I need to make sure this comes out. The hula kind of extends a little bit here. There. There's the front. First nail. Second nail. That knee comes down because it probably goes like this. And that's right there. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. So there's the front of his knee. Comes down. And you've got that toe. Kind of sticks out there. Another toe right there. Comes around, and here is the final toe. Be careful, I need to push that in just a skosh. And draw his hula skirt. 1, 2. So this goes up and over like that. So I need to make sure and follow that line and not go way down here. So this comes up, and it goes right here. The other one kind of right there. Goes like that. And then you can see his knee. And this goes down. And get some little rocks. Maybe there's a rock right here. And he's doing his best because he likes Elvis. A little less conversation, a little more action. Get that song in your head. Wise men say. Okay, that's enough. I'm not really happy with how the reference depicts his ear. I want his other ear, because his ears are down and back. No. I think I'll have it right here. There we go. Okay. There is importance whenever it comes to silhouette, and this does kind of break that rule, but I don't want the other ear out here. I don't want the other ear right here. So for pose sake, I'm just putting it right there behind him. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. And this, let's draw a little shadow. A little bit like that. Good, good, good. Okay. This comes that's his. That comes around. Alright, this is, of course, daily warm-up. Drawing number 2 of our pal. Let's go ahead and do his nails in. Our pal Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. I did not watch the most recent iteration of Stitch, but I do like the original. The original's fun. But my daughter did like it, so daughter approved. Let's do this. Overlapping line. Goes around. Okay. All right. Number 2. On to the last pose. The last pose. I think I forgot anything. Hope not. Again, we're doing Stitch today. We did number 1, number 2. Finally, a number 3. So for those of you who do not know, what's the date today? Today is the 12th. Tomorrow is the 13th, obviously, which is a Friday, and then February 14th, which is Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. For those of you who don't know, Valentine's Day celebrates love. I don't need a day to celebrate love. I do it every single day. My life. I think Valentine's Day was created by the greeting card companies to monopolize and capitalize on people. But I digress. I'm being funny. A kid. Golly. Yeah. So for those of you who have a significant other or are in the market for a significant other, or just have friends, Valentine's Day is an opportunity for you to be better. It's kind of like Christmas. Christmas is an opportunity for you to be better than you normally are, so definitely do something fun. Again, putting out the roadmap here, trying to define his head a little bit better, get his nose correct, which is not currently, getting the placement correct, drawing things in lightly, and then going around and building the character. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm building the character. The more you draw something, obviously, the better you'll get at it. Just like riding a bicycle. The more you ride a bike, the better you'll be. Trust me, I know. That is one of my many hobbies, is riding a mountain bike up here in the mountains. And I love it. But whenever it comes to doing stuff like this, obviously the more you do it, the better you'll be. Let's go ahead and do this up, up. And then you've got this placement of stuff. Okay, it comes out more. Yeah. But love, and I definitely think that this is a day that you can enjoy with your loved ones, or if not loved one, and just have a day. It's kind of like a little mini Christmas. without the snow, unless you're up north, and then you're gonna get snow whether you like it or not. Come here, and then it comes around like that. But you have the opportunity to give gifts and chocolate, and I love chocolate. Whew! You stay away from that stuff, especially the sugared one. And you're like, wait a minute, don't they have some that doesn't have sugar in it? Yeah, but it tastes like butt. You ever had 100% cacao? Oh, it's like a bitter. I remember my son, he's so silly. My son, he got on this kick, of course, with TikTok and intertubes. They can talk your children into just about anything, can't they? Dad, I saw this guy on TikTok. He ate a clothes tab as a challenge, and I'm like, well, he's an idiot. You don't eat things that say poison. That's pretty simple. Yeah, but it's a big thing. No, I think that you should not eat poison. It's pretty. That's just my that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Don't eat poison. And the more you know, the better. So again, putting that anchor point in, making sure I get the head correct, making sure I get the mouth correct, and then I can go in and start drawing Unsta's ears. You see how really just broad I do things. Very broad. And then I start looking at it going, okay, so it goes right here. And you've got this little indentation right there. And I come back and I compare and contrast where this is, and compare, it goes down and it ends on the other side of his face right about there. So that needs to be right about there, because that comes out a skosh. And then this whole, you can even draw just one line. And it comes around, and you want it to be similar. And then it comes in, it fans out quite a bit here, and it comes back in. And you have this that comes here, and then this comes like right there. And then he's got that little indentation right there. It's not big enough, but I think I'll live with it for now. And this comes up, around, down. He's got his little tufts. Let's go ahead and make his eyebrow. And it comes up. One of my more favorite projects that I've ever worked on a while back was the 25-year anniversary of Jurassic. Welcome to Jurassic Park. I've done a lot of stuff for Universal Studios. I don't talk a lot about my current work because obviously I'm not supposed to. But I've done a lot of stuff for Universal. Just skoshes and abundance, little bits and big bits, big projects, little projects, projects that you'll never see. And that, because I talk a lot about Disney, because obviously we're working on Disney stuff today, but I've had the opportunity to work on a lot of really incredible stuff for Universal Studios and all the properties inside Universal. We're talking Transformers, more than meets the eye. Back in the day, I came up with a stupid... Nah, I'm not going to do it. It's a stupid song that I came up with that used the tune from Transformers, and I plugged in the words. It was a dad song. You're not going to hear it because it's a dad song. Anyway, so a lot of stuff for Universal Studios. Really cool stuff too. Like, gotta pinch myself. Did I just work on that? A lot of stuff for Harry Potter. Lot of Harry Potter. We're talking monumentous amounts of Harry Potter, as well as a lot of the other properties. And I can say that because the current company I work for, we have NDAs and stuff, but the company that I worked for previously, I had an NDA, but that NDA is expired. So I can definitely say that I worked for stuff with Harry Potter. And it was so much fun. So much fun. Yeah. But I can definitely say that one of my favorite projects, again, I mentioned just a moment ago, was for Jurassic Park. And I got to do the 25th anniversary, some of the 25th anniversary posters that were in the parks, and they used in assets. That was so much fun. Oh my gosh. I just love... Because I remember back whenever Jurassic Park came out, I remember all of it. I remember the hype. I remember just the stuff. That was a lot of fun. Bum, bum, bum. I got the Transformer song in my head. Go ahead and do this knee out. The knee comes like this, and then it goes across like that. The belly, here's his belly line. Always think three-dimensionally, always thinking, okay, tail's over here, I can't quite see it. I see part of it, and then I've got this overlapping line that comes around because his knee is, again, his weight is pushing down on it, so it's going to push out this way and this way. I'm going to draw that front nail. Side, side. But one of the things that I don't allow in my life is to dwell on past projects. Oh, I did Harry Potter. That means I'm the man. No. The fact that you had the opportunity to work on stuff for Harry Potter and continue to do so is the realization that you have to adapt, you have to keep trying, you have to improve if you want to keep working on projects like that. Otherwise, they will go away. And as I endeavor to continue in my career, I definitely am trying to improve all the time, and that's what these projects are that I work on for myself. Okay, again, thinking, okay, here's knee, here's his hip. Same thing over here. This needs to come out. And sometimes it's okay to do this right here. Because what you're going to do now is you're going to come down, you're going to draw, because his knee kind of folds over. And then you're going to draw right here, nail. And just a little hint of the other one. Down just a little bit, and then I need to position that just a little bit lower because it's not hitting correctly. Just a simple little line can mess up the pose by quite a bit. But yeah, I've had very, very unique opportunities to work on wonderful projects through my career. And I will hopefully continue to do so. So the reason why I brought up Valentine's Day is because he's going to be holding some balloons. And they're going to be hearts. I remember when I used to go to Disney, one of the things I really wanted was a balloon. And my mom would never buy me one until the end of the night. She's so smart. I want a balloon. Now you can get balloons with friggin' stuffed animals in them. And I'm like, what? In them. Did you just hear that? In them. That's magic. Magic. That's exactly what it is. Stuffed animal inside of a balloon. She never bought me that because those things are like 50 bucks. How much for the balloon with a stuffed animal in it? $50. And then if you don't get it, fit. It annoyed every one of us. Bow, 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 bow. Anyway, so she would always buy it at the end of the night because she was smart. She didn't want to carry it on any of the rides. I think my mom would be sad to see the state of Disney World and how expensive it has become. But I understand more than most in terms of profit and shareholders and inflation. But we were able to go to Disney as a family. Now, that's $1,000 just to get in the door for a family of 4. $1,000 just to get in. Just to get in. That's not including, oh, Mom, I want to ride the Rise of the Resistance or Smuggler's Run or some of those that you have to pay extra for. I don't understand that. If you're in the park, I don't pay extra for that. I already paid you. So, hopefully you guys got something from this video today and are getting something from the videos posted. Like and some share. Like and some share. Like and, that's an interesting word. Like and some share. Like and some share if you like what you see. That's a freaking terrible song, Michael. Like and share if you like what you see, of course. And I did this one for Valentine's Day. It's so cute. Alright, Stitch, slow down. Slow down. Ohana Mons Famla. Yes, it does.
Ha! And Disney means what? It actually means money. Ha! Wow!
No, Mickey, it does not mean money. Anyway, thank you guys for visiting me this morning. Hopefully you enjoyed this. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.